Ethan Hale lived a quiet life. The kind of life that passed without noise or attention. He was a second-year engineering student, and most days felt the same for him. He spent long hours in the campus workshop, fixing old machines, cleaning worn-out gears, and repairing tiny circuits. Other students found the work boring, but for Ethan, it felt peaceful. It was the one place where he did not have to talk too much, smile too much, or pretend to be someone else. On a cool evening, after finishing a long project, he left the workshop and walked through the forest path behind the university. It was the fastest route to his small dorm room. Usually the path was empty, and only the sound of insects and leaves kept him company. But tonight was different. As he reached the middle of the forest, Ethan noticed a strange blue glow in the distance. At first, he thought it might be a group of students using flashlights, but the light was too bright and too steady. It pulsed slowly, almost like it was breathing. Ethan stopped. His heart beat faster. He was not the type to chase trouble, but curiosity pushed him forward. He stepped off the path and walked toward the glowing light. The closer he came, the stranger the light became. It shimmered, almost liquid, moving like waves on water. The air around him felt warmer, and small sparks danced across the tree trunks. Then he saw her. A girl lay on the ground near a fallen tree. Her skin glowed faintly, her hair shone silver like moonlight, and she wore clothing made of thin metal strands. Her arms were scratched, and she looked weak, as if she had been running for miles. Ethan froze. He did not understand what he was looking at. She did not look human, not completely. Her eyes opened slowly. They were bright violet, gentle, but tired. When she saw Ethan, she did not look afraid. Instead, she tried to smile. You are human," she whispered softly, her voice clear but weak. Ethan's legs felt frozen, yet he forced himself to take a few steps closer. The girl tried to sit up but winced in pain. "It is nothing. My body will heal. But I do not have much time." Ethan looked around. There was no one else. No lights. No signs of help. Only the blue glow that seemed to come from her body. "Who are you?" he finally asked. "My name is Leora," she said slowly. "I come from far beyond your star. I am not from this world." The words felt unreal, like something from a movie, yet everything about her told him she was telling the truth. Her glowing skin, her strange clothing, her calm voice, none of it belonged to Earth. Ethan swallowed and crouched near her. "Should I call someone? A doctor? The police?" "No," she said quickly. "If your people find me, they will be afraid, and fear will bring danger to you, and to me." He hesitated, not knowing what to do. Leora watched him closely, and for a moment, he felt like she could see through every thought in his mind. "You have a quiet heart," she said gently. "You are not like others. That is why I waited here." Ethan blinked. She lifted her hand and revealed something small resting in her palm. It was a crystal, shaped like a tiny tear. It glowed with soft, white, and blue light. The light felt alive, like a heartbeat. "I must give this to someone who can protect it," Leora said. "Someone who can keep it safe from the ones who hunt me." Ethan stepped back slightly. "Hunt you? What is that thing?" "It is called the Key of Echoes," she explained. "An ancient gift from my people. It chooses its bearer, and it has chosen you." "Me?" Ethan shook his head fast. "No, you must be mistaken. I don't know anything about aliens or whatever this is. I'm just a student." Leora smiled kindly. "The key does not choose those who seek power. It chooses those who have gentle strength. You have that, even if you cannot see it." She pressed the crystal toward him. Ethan instinctively held up his hands as if to say no. But the moment the key came close, it lit up brighter. glowing like a tiny star. The trees around them shimmered with the light. "It reacts to you," Leora whispered. "It accepts you." Leora. Leora. Ethan felt his pulse rise. The idea terrified him. He wanted to run, to pretend none of this was happening. But something in Leora's eyes made him stay. She looked desperate, yet trusting. "You have to take it," she said. "If not, it will fall into hands that will use it to destroy. You must keep it safe." Ethan breathed slowly, fighting his panic. The moment his fingers made contact, the crystal flashed, not painfully, but powerfully. A wave of light shot through the trees. Ethan gasped as he felt a vibration run through his arm, then into his chest, spreading through his whole body. It was warm but strange, like a pulse of electricity mixed with water. Around them, the forest fell silent. Ethan looked down at the crystal in his hand. Alien symbols flowed across its surface like liquid metal, constantly shifting and rearranging. It felt weightless, yet heavy with meaning. What is happening?" he whispered, trembling. "The key is binding to you," Leora said. "It is learning your shape, your body, your mind. You are its new bearer." "But I don't want to be its bearer," Ethan said, feeling panic rise again. Leora smiled sadly. "Destiny rarely asks what we want." Suddenly, the ground trembled. A deep rumble echoed through the forest. Leora's eyes widened, and fear flashed across her face for the first time. "They found me," she said. "Who?" Ethan asked quickly. "My hunters. They are near. They will feel the key's energy. You must leave now." "But what about you?" Ethan said. The idea of leaving her alone felt wrong. "I can take care of myself now," she said, standing slowly. Her wounds were already healing, glowing softly as if her body repaired itself. "I only stayed because I needed to pass the key to you." Ethan took a step forward. "Let me help." "No." Leora cut him off firmly. "If you stay, they will capture you too. And if they capture you, the key will fall into their hands." The rumbling grew louder. Leaves shook on branches. Something in the sky hummed. Leora looked at Ethan one last time, her violet eyes full of emotion he did not understand. "Remember this, Ethan Hale," she said softly. "You were chosen not because of strength, but because of heart. Protect the key. Protect yourself. We will meet again." Before Ethan could reply, light burst around her. Her body transformed into a stream of silver energy that shot upward into the trees, then disappeared completely. The forest became dark and silent once more. Ethan stood alone, breathing fast, heart racing. The key of echoes lay in his hand, glowing faintly, like a living thing. His life, once simple and quiet, had just been turned upside down by a strange girl from beyond the stars. And nothing would ever be the same again. Ethan Hale barely slept that night. He sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the small crystal lying on his desk. The key of echoes glowed softly, pulsing with a gentle blue light like a heartbeat. It looked peaceful, almost beautiful, but Ethan knew it was anything but simple. He could still hear Leora's voice in his mind. "Protect the key. Protect yourself." He kept replaying what had happened in the forest, her glowing skin, the strange light, the hunters she feared. Everything felt unreal, yet the crystal on his desk was proof that it all happened. By morning, Ethan looked tired and pale. He tried to get ready for class, but his mind refused to focus. The key's glow bothered him. He wrapped it in a cloth and placed it in his bag, hoping no one would notice the light. But hiding it was harder than he thought. The moment he stepped out of his dorm, the streetlights flickered. The vending machine beside the building made a loud beep and reset itself. A parked scooter's alarm turned on by itself. Students looked around in confusion. Ethan froze. Is this because of the key? He walked faster toward the campus, hoping the strange behavior would stop. But as he entered the main hall, the large digital screen on the wall glitched, displaying lines of alien symbols that no one recognized, not even Ethan. Students gasped. What language is that? Is the school system hacked? Why is everything glitching today? Ethan's heart raced. The symbols looked similar to the ones on the key when he first touched it. He pulled his bag closer to his chest and rushed into an empty corridor. He pulled the crystal out from the cloth. It pulsed with stronger light now, almost as if it was waking up. Ethan whispered, "Please, stop doing strange things. I'm not ready for this." But the key seemed to ignore him. It projected a small hologram above its surface, tiny floating symbols that slowly rotated. Ethan stared in shock. Then a soft sound echoed in his mind, a whispering voice, quiet but clear. Bearer. Learning. Connecting. Adapting. Ethan almost dropped the crystal. You can talk? No. No. This is too much. The crystal responded with more symbols and another whisper. Bond established. Integration incomplete. Energy expanding. Ethan rubbed his forehead. He had no idea what integration meant, but he clearly felt something inside him like a warm current moving through his body. It wasn't painful, but it was strange and confusing. Suddenly, his phone vibrated. He pulled it out. Message from unknown number. The energy spike has been detected. Hide it. They are searching. Ethan felt cold fear spread through his chest. They? Who is they? Leora's hunters? Before he could reply, another message arrived. Do not panic. Do not trust anyone. I will reach you soon. The last word made Ethan's breath stop. Leora. She had found a way to contact him. But the fact she said, "They are searching," made his hands shake. If her hunters were anywhere near Earth, he was in danger. And so was everyone around him. Strange powers, growing fear. By afternoon, Ethan's day only grew stranger. During class, his pen suddenly floated an inch above the table before dropping again. His textbook pages flipped on their own. His laptop turned on even though the battery was dead. His classmates noticed. Dude, are you some kind of magician? One girl joked. Ethan forced a shaky smile. Just static electricity, I guess. But he knew it wasn't static. It was the key. He kept his hands tightly around his bag the rest of the lecture, but he felt the crystal's energy growing. The whispers became more frequent, sometimes faint, sometimes strong. Danger, approaching. Prepare, defend. Learning human structure. Each whisper made Ethan more anxious. He left class early and walked across the quiet part of campus, hoping to calm his nerves. Then, something unbelievable happened. A small delivery vehicle speeding down the path lost control after hitting a rock. The wheels skidded, and the vehicle slid directly toward a group of students. Ethan reacted without thinking. He raised his hands as if to stop the vehicle, but a burst of blue energy shot out from his palms. A transparent shield formed instantly in front of the students. The vehicle hit the shield, bounced off it, and rolled to the side, stopping safely. People screamed. Others stared at Ethan, eyes wide, mouths open. What was that? Did he just create a force field? No way. That's impossible. Ethan stepped backward, heart pounding. He didn't want attention. He didn't want trouble. But in seconds, several students pulled out their phones and started recording him. He panicked and ran. He ran across campus, through the forest path, and finally back toward his dorm. The whole time, his hands trembled. The key inside his bag glowed brighter, almost excited. No, Ethan whispered, breathlessly. Stop helping me like that. People saw. People think I'm something else. But the key whispered back. Protection. Instinctive. Your bond grows. Ethan didn't know whether to feel thankful or terrified. Something watches Earth. That night, the sky above the city changed. To most people, it just looked like a strange cloud or a faint flash of light. But Ethan, still awake, staring out his window, saw something else. 3 faint shapes moved across the clouds, almost invisible. They were metallic, with sharp edges like knives. They flew silently, their dark silhouettes blinking with soft red lights. Ethan's chest tightened. Those were not planes. Suddenly, his phone buzzed again. They arrived sooner than expected. Do not go outside. Stay hidden. Leora. Another message followed. Do not let the key release more energy. The hunters follow every signal. Before Ethan could respond, the key inside his bag flashed brightly, almost angrily. It projected a short, sharp warning into his mind. Hostile presence detected. Ethan whispered. From the sky, one of the dark shapes released a beam of red light that scanned the city below like a giant flashlight. When the beam touched the ground, traffic lights malfunctioned. Cars locked up, and street signs flickered. They were searching. And Ethan knew exactly what they were searching for. The hunter arrives. Around midnight, a sudden loud thud hit the roof of the dorm building. Ethan jumped. Something heavy had landed above him. Then he heard it slow. Heavy footsteps, walking across the roof. The key's glow became frantic. Enemy, close, very close, it whispered. Ethan backed away from the window. His breathing became uneven. He grabbed the key, but the moment his fingers touched it, the hologram symbols swirled rapidly. Defend or escape. Escape? Where? Another heavy step echoed. Dust fell from the ceiling. Then, a sound like metal scraping. Someone or something was tearing open the roof. Ethan ran to his door, opened it, and sprinted into the hallway. He didn't stop to think. He ran down the stairs as fast as he could. Behind him, the roof exploded with a loud crash. Students screamed. Something large climbed through the opening. Ethan didn't dare look back. He ran outside the building and into the dark streets until he reached a narrow alley behind the gym. He leaned against a wall, breathing hard. Then a voice echoed from above. A deep, cold, mechanical voice. Bearer of the key. You cannot hide. Ethan looked up. On top of the gym roof stood a tall figure, armored, reptilian, with glowing red eyes. Its metal armor reflected the moonlight. Its claws clicked against the concrete. It was a hunter. And it had found him. Ethan froze. The creature pointed a glowing device toward him. Return the key, or your world burns. Ethan felt his legs weaken. Fear washed over him. But before the hunter could move, a burst of silver light shot across the sky and struck the roof next to it. The hunter stepped back, hissing. A second light beam landed beside Ethan, forming into a glowing figure. When the light faded, Leora stood there, healthy, armored, eyes blazing. Stay behind me, Ethan, she said firmly. Ethan stared at her in disbelief. You came back. I had to, she said. You are the key's bearer, and now the galaxy knows. The air in the alley felt heavy as Ethan stood behind Leora. Her silver armor glowed faintly, forming soft ripples of light that pushed back the darkness. The reptilian hunter, Commander Vorthak, stared down at them from the gym roof with cold red eyes that showed no fear, no emotion, only purpose. You protect the human? Vorthak hissed. His voice echoed like metal scraping against stone. He is weak. He is not worthy. Leora stepped forward, raising her arm. A plate on her armor shifted, forming a shining shield. He is the key's chosen bearer, she said calmly. That makes him more than worthy. Vorthak let out a sharp, cruel laugh. The key chooses incorrectly. His red gaze turned toward Ethan. Give it to me, human. You are fragile. You are unprepared. You will lose. Ethan's heart pounded so loudly, he could hear it in his ears. The key, inside his hand, grew warm, as if reacting to his fear. But when he held it tighter, the warmth turned calmer, comforting somehow, like a reassuring touch. Leora didn't take her eyes off Vorthak. "As long as I stand here, you will not touch him." Vorthak didn't reply. He simply raised his clawed hand. A pulse of red energy shot toward them with terrifying speed. Leora reacted instantly. Her shield expanded, blocking the attack. The impact made the air tremble. Sparks of silver and red light scattered across the alley. "Move!" Leora shouted. She grabbed Ethan's arm and pulled him out of the alley just as Vorthak leapt from the roof, landing with a heavy thud that cracked the concrete beneath him. Ethan stumbled but kept running. Leora's armor flashed again, and she formed a glowing blade on her other arm. Vorthak charged. A massive clash of energy filled the night. Silver against red. Light against darkness. Ethan watched in shock as the two aliens fought. Their movements were fast and sharp, each strike creating bursts of light. Leora was graceful, quick, and focused, while Vorthak was brutal and powerful, each attack heavy enough to break stone. Ethan felt helpless. He wanted to help, but he didn't know how. He wasn't a soldier. He wasn't strong. He was just Ethan. But the key in his hand pulsed again. Bearer. Before he could ask what that meant, Vorthak slammed Leora into the side of a parked car. The metal bent like paper from the impact. "Leora!" Ethan shouted. She tried to get up, but Vorthak pinned her down with his foot. "You lost, Aurelian," Vorthak growled. "Give up the human." Leora struggled. Vorthak raised his weapon to strike her down. Ethan didn't think. He moved. "Stop!" he yelled, stepping forward with his arm raised. The key reacted before Ethan understood what he was doing. A bright blue wave exploded outward, hitting Vorthak directly. The hunter stumbled back several steps, roaring in frustration as his armor sparked and cracked. Ethan stared at his own hands in disbelief. Leora quickly got to her feet and pulled Ethan behind her. "The key responded to your will," she said, breathing hard. "It senses your emotions. Your courage activated it." "But I didn't even know what I was doing," Ethan said. "You don't need to know," she replied. "You only need to feel." Vorthak lifted his head, red eyes burning brighter. "So the human awakens the key," he hissed. "Then capturing him will please my masters even more." He swung his arm, and a new weapon formed, something like a curved blade glowing deep red. The sight made Ethan's stomach twist. Leora tightened her grip on her own glowing blade. "Ethan, listen. You must run. Now." "I can't leave you to fight him alone," Ethan said. "You have to. If he captures you, everything falls apart." The key pulsed again. "Escape or adapt." Ethan clenched his jaw. "I'm tired of running." Vorthak roared and charged again. Leora met him head-on. Their blades clashed with a thunderous shockwave. Ethan shielded his face from the bright flash. For a moment, he couldn't see anything. When the light faded, Leora stood beside him, panting, armor cracked. Vorthak was gone. Not defeated, just vanished. "He retreated," Leora said, "but only to regroup." Ethan felt a small spark of hope. "Did we win?" "No," Leora said quietly. "This was only the beginning." Leora. A new ally, the hidden truth. Leora took Ethan to a secure place, a small abandoned observatory just outside the city. It was quiet, dark, and hidden away from people. Perfect for talking without interruptions. Ethan sat on an old wooden bench, while Leora repaired her armor, using a small alien device. Sparks danced across the cracks as the metal healed itself. He finally broke the silence. "Who is Vorthak? And why does he want the key so badly?" Leora looked at him with tired but focused eyes. "Vorthak serves the Zarenth Empire, a powerful force in our galaxy. They believe the key of echoes belongs to them. If they get it, they will unlock ancient gateways and gain access to technology far too dangerous for anyone. But why choose me? Ethan asked. I'm not special. You are, she said softly. The key chooses based on heart and spirit, not strength. You act to protect others without thinking. You fear danger but still stand up when it matters. That is rare, even among my people. Ethan looked down at his hands. They still shook slightly from the adrenaline. I didn't feel strong back there. I only felt scared. Courage is not the absence of fear, Leora replied. Courage is moving forward despite the fear. Her words settled into his mind like gentle truth. But that peace lasted only a moment before Leora's wrist device started beeping rapidly. Her expression turned serious. The Empire has sent more ships. They are closing in on Earth. Ethan felt his chest tighten. More? You mean? Yes, they will search every corner of your planet to find you. Ethan paced back and forth. Then we need help. We can't fight them alone. Leora nodded. You're right. We need your people. Ethan blinked. Humans? But we don't have alien weapons. We don't have starships. We barely understand what's happening. Leora touched his shoulder gently. Humans have something stronger. Creativity, instinct, determination. You adapt faster than any species I've seen. Ethan felt warmth at her words, but also pressure. A heavy weight settled on his shoulders. This is too big for me, he whispered. You're not alone, she said. Humanity fights back. The next day, things changed quickly. Strange events happened across the city. Electrical failures, unexplained signals in the sky, satellites detecting unknown objects. Governments took notice. Scientists panicked. Military bases activated emergency protocols. And through all of this, Ethan stayed with Leora, hiding inside the observatory while she planned their next move. Late in the evening, she stood by the broken telescope and projected a hologram into the air. It showed 3 Zarenth ships heading toward Earth's atmosphere. They will attack soon, she said. They think your world is weak, but we can prove them wrong. Ethan swallowed. How? Leora turned to him. By using the key to help your people fight. But I don't know how to control it. You will, she said. Because you must. She stepped closer, placing her hand gently over his. The key grew brighter. Suddenly, holograms appeared around Ethan, alien symbols, diagrams, energy patterns. They swirled around him, glowing softly. What is this? He whispered. The key is teaching you, Leora said, giving you what you need. Ethan felt a wave of information pass into his mind. Not painful, not overwhelming, just clear, like understanding something he had always known but forgotten. He now knew how to use the key to create shields. How to detect enemy energy. How to connect with technology. He gasped. This is incredible. Leora smiled. Now you see why the Empire wants it so badly. Suddenly, loud alarms rang across the city. Explosions echoed in the distance. Bright lights flashed in the sky. The invasion had begun. Ethan looked at Leora. We have to go. Yes, she said. And this time, we will fight together. The first battle for Earth. Ethan and Leora rushed out of the observatory and arrived at a hill overlooking the city. Fires burned in several areas. Military aircraft took to the sky. People fled in panic as the Zarenth ships hovered above the city like giant metallic predators. Leora activated her armor. Ethan held the key tightly. Vorthak's voice echoed from a speaker on the enemy ships. Human world, surrender the bearer of the key. Resist, and you will be crushed. Ethan felt anger rise in his chest. He stepped forward. No, he whispered. Not today. The key glowed intensely. A massive blue shield, strong, bright, unbreakable, formed over part of the city, protecting thousands of people beneath it. Leora looked at him with awe. "Ethan, you did that." Ethan didn't take his eyes off the ships. "We're not weak," he said. "Humans won't bow." And in that moment, for the first time, Leora truly believed that humanity might surprise the galaxy. Because Ethan, an ordinary human, stood ready to face an empire. You said, Part 4. 1, 2, 5. 0 words. Ka. Lekho. Or interesting huna. Kea. Or third-person style. Ma. Lekniha. Or simple basic English ka. Or violated free. Ona. Kea.